Oh, udah. Halo. Tunggu, ini kenapa nggak belum streaming ya? Udah streaming kan? Halo. Coba head dulu. Halo. Tunggu, ini kenapa nggak belum streaming ya? Udah streaming kan? Oh, udah. Udah streaming lah intinya. Bentar, gua ambil dulu sesuatu. Coba betul. Oh ya, launch dulu lah soalnya. Kita pisahin dulu. Gunakan chat aja. Oke, udah masuk. Oke, bentar. Ini layarnya. Cuk. Bentar. Gue taruh dulu besar dulu di foto. Nah, ini ini Genshinnya gue coba biar tidak hilang nih. Mau tetap lain. Terus kayak gitu Genshin. Ntar gue buka Discord. Kita buka Discord dulu ya. Saya mau share dulu. Ya, anjir. Ntar gue juga share ke ini. Like dan subscribe. Anjay. Untuk bisa. Kita coba. Oke. Habisnya drop sih. Ya udah sih kalau habis drop. Sabar guys. Sabar. Ini dong. Aduh. Oke. Gua sebenarnya lagi story si siapa? Si Lailin. Lainet. Kakak adek. HP gua kenapa dah? Sensi banget. Oke deh. So kita ke apa sini dulu? Ke operasi meeting. Oh enggak deh. Ke teleport hotel dalam mall. Ini hotelnya, hotel mewah. Kita tinggal di sini ceritanya.
Over here.
Ini botnya kenapa tuh?
Lynette's not joining us today?
I've had her follow Gemma and see if we can make any inroads with her. They should be at a cafe right now. Still, I don't think that Gemma's likely to open up to us. So, we need a contingency plan.
Apa dah? Nggak paham nih. Ngapain?
Today, we'll be looking into a guy named Lorenzo, Caesar's former pupil and assistant. When Caesar passed away, all the stolen goods discovered in his home were confiscated and returned to their rightful owners. But Lorenzo was the only one privy to all his magic secrets, and he inherited his craft. Before long, Lorenzo was the next big magician in town, his fame surpassing even that of his master, and it made him very wealthy. He's since left the magic scene, though, and these days, he's a wealthy business. I had to pull a lot of strings, but I managed to get him to agree to a couple of drinks with me. Be warned, though, I hear he's got a hair-triggered temper. We'd better...
Bisnis apa tuh? Kalau ke sini. Oh, di hotel ya. Kadang ngerasa nggak juga rada-rada kadang ngelag gitu.
You neglected to mention that you were bringing 2 other people with you.
Kenapa ya rusak
My apology.
Oh, forget the pleasantries, just sit.
Get a load of this guy.
Bisa
I only
ngomong.
agreed to meet since we're both magicians. Do me a favor.
Much obliged, sir. Yesterday morning, I have to get to the bottom of this to ensure that my show can go ahead as planned. Naturally, any investigation into the weasel starts with a few questions about Caesar, who...
What is there to investigate? Caesar was the weasel and he's been dead for 10 years. So what if some sick creep thought it'd be funny to write a
Ya,
warning letter?
Caesar
It
adalah
changes
orang yang
nothing.
sama. Dia kayaknya dia
trying to tell me
nuduh
you
deh.
actually
Dia
bought
sudah
it?
dikubur 10 tahun lalu.
Please,
Oke.
sir, no need to get so worked up. I do
Ini
concede that a
ceritanya
copycat
terkait
is but
Caesar
one
sama lain
possibility.
apa ya?
Possibility, it's a fact,
Dituduh.
Lenny. Look, my patience is limited, so listen carefully while I'm still willing to put up with you. The
Tapi
weasel
Lorenzo kayak
is dead.
gimana ya?
Period. Everyone knows that, so do yourself a favor and quit this investigation. It'll lead you
Olah-olah
nowhere.
dia yang nuduh.
Look, if this
Padahal orang
affects
itu
your
mati.
magic show in any way, I will personally compensate you for any
Phantom
losses.
Whistle masih
Oh,
ada.
sir, I'm honored, really. But this isn't about finances for me.
Bentar.
My pride as a magician is what's at stake here, Lorenzo. Copycat or not, this person has thrown me the gauntlet, and I must meet
Intinya
that
sih kena
challenge head
tuduh
on.
ya.
Your pride? Don't mince words with me, boy. Just tell me what
I want to find out the Phantom Weasel's true identity. I have to know for myself what really happened 10 years ago.
Diri
What would
sesungguhnya.
that accomplish? And what do the events of 10 years ago have to do with you anyway? Look, you of all people should know that a magician never reveals.
Uh-oh. This is getting...
Lorenzo? Is that? Oh, it is you!
Another day, I'm busy.
Oh, come on! You can't be all
Siapa
business
mulai ini?
all the time.
If I wanted your life advice, I'd ask for it. Now get out.
Sorry, my good sir. I don't believe I've had the pleasure.
Oh, hey!
Mabo nih.
Edmondo. He and I are business pals. We worked together a bunch of times. This is your first time meeting him? Oh, he's always
Tambah-tambang
like
mabuk, pantes lah.
mouth and hard nose. Never heard a kind
Dan
word
semenjak
out of this
kalau
guy
tidak
the whole
pernah
time
kali
I've
pun dia
known him.
ngomong santun. Pikir
And
aneh.
he wonders why he
Masuk
can't get a
mulutnya gitu ya.
girlfriend despite being, what, pushing 40, 30, something. Anyway, point is, a lot older than when he first got rejected by the...
Shut up and get out of my face. Another word out of you and you can forget about doing.
Jangan buka mulut. Jujur
I'm
banget
sorry,
lu.
I may have had a little too much
Gara-gara
drink.
babuknya.
I think it's
Apa
high
ada
time I made a
hubungannya ya?
move as well. If you really want to investigate this, Lenny, be my guest.
Apa ada hubungannya dia?
But if nothing good comes of it, don't say I didn't warn you.
Mencurigakan banget.
Well, that fell to pieces in a rather spectacular fashion.
Totally. And what was all that about
Siapa yang
compensating you
menawar?
for your loss?
Udah sudah ada
So
orang
he's
gitu.
gotta be hiding something. And not like Gemma. She was a little suspicious, but this guy's definitely covering something up.
I think so too. We need to look into Lorenzo more closely. That guy Edmondo seems to know a thing or two about him. He only just left. Let's see if we can catch up with
Edmondo.
him.
Jangan-jangan pikiranku ke Gemma pula. Bentar guys, mau review hotel. Besar gitu kan. Tanya balik. Dua lantai. Saya cari Edmondo. Biasanya orang mabuk itu jujur. Apa curhat gitu. Jangan Gemma sama Lorenzo ini. Siapa
You
sangka.
okay there?
Who are you? Oh, it's you guys. Don't worry about. I said way too much back there, didn't I? Yeah, I nearly talked myself into complete financial ruin.
So he was serious about threatening to cut you off?
Hey! Keep your voice down.
Ngomongnya keras-keras
Don't pry into
sekali.
Lorenzo's personal affairs. Bad things happen to people who ask too many.
What kind of bad thing?
Don't even ask. I'm sorry. I'm gonna take it from me. Trouble with Lorenzo is one thing you don't need in your life. You some flare up back there. I don't know what use. That's not a good sign. You're too young.
Tutup mulut, udah gak mabuk tutup mulut jadinya. Kenapa tuh kira-kira?
And there he goes.
Shh. I think we're being watched. Someone was
Buset,
listening into
itu
our
kah?
conversation. Don't say anything and don't look back. Any altercation in the city will attract the guards. We better.
Yang kacamata hitam itu kah? Yang mana sih tadi? Iya, yang kacamata hitam. Oke, sini. Kita pancing ya. Jauhan deh. Bentar, kemana kan? Mariota, oke. Ini udah yang keluar kota ya? Buset. Chess nomor 1. Puzzle-nya enggak.
You followed us a long way. Why don't you come out and introduce yourself?
So you're Lenny.
Buset.
And where's your sister?
Pacino.
Ain't she with you today? Save us the trouble and go fetch her for us. Let's not drag.
Paimon doesn't like the tone of your voice, mister.
Boleh juga kalau di laut.
You, huh?
Ayo, aduh.
Save your questions, Missy. You ain't gonna need answers where you're going. Capiche?
Looks like we can't avoid this fight. Now, I'm not the strongest fighter, so I hope you're ready to back me.
Don't worry, we got this.
Keren cuy lawannya kayak gini. Lu lagi. Dia focus sedikit lah.
No, my sword.
Padahal mah ini mah bisa hunter.
Disappear!
Curses. They're tougher than we thought.
Bisa hunter
Vision
bagus,
wielders are always
bagus ya
trouble.
sekarang.
Timid.
Come on, let's scram.
Hey, wise guys, we ain't through with you yet. Oh, they got away. Did you catch what they sounds like? They just wanted to rough us up as a scare tactic, and they've already done it. You're right. She was injured when we saw her yesterday, and maybe she was too scared to tell us the truth because those guys had threatened her.
Well, if that's the case, she should be more willing to Let's head back to the cafe and see if we can get any information from her.
Kafe. Oke, kafenya di mana? Jauh-jauh banget lah, bola balik. Luar kota mah, luar kota jauh banget anjir. Oh, enggak ini.
Gemma?
Jenna.
You again. What is it this time?
We just ran into the men who've been threatening you, and so you can relax now.
What? Why? I didn't tell you anything. Why would they come after you?
Sounds like they're no strangers.
That's putting it mildly. I know them all too well. And I hate them with every fiber of my being. It's been 10 long years. And still, every time I try to look into Caesar's death, they show up and warn me not to do anything stupid. How do I know I can trust you? Do you really think you can get to the bottom of it all?
I'm afraid I can't reveal all the details just yet, but I can promise you this, because you see, this is a personal matter of the utmost importance.
Gue curiga lagi.
How can
I've heard that Caesar used to have a magic workshop where he kept a lot of his personal effects. Do you know where it is?
The Fleuve Cendre. But the place was sealed up by the... I also know that the Fleuve Cendre is dangerous territory. Lots of hostile groups.
Understood. Lynette, you stay here and take...
Got it. But if I'm staying here, I'm ordering dessert.
I mean, bon appetit. But stay sharp too.
Okay. All right. Power saving mode off. I'll start.
Woi, jualan gak bang? Kita coba lihat ya. Berapa? Mau kontak? Iya aja deh. Gimana? Lihat ada sendiri. Hah? Di bawah tanah. Oh iya, di bawah tanah. Oke, kita ke sini di bawah tanah. Ya, penasaran juga sama bawah tanah ini. Mereka kok bisa ya di yang keluarnya di sini aja. Gue nggak berani ke atas. Kenapa? Bro, menurut gue ini terlalu tinggi banget ke sana. Ini ke tempat sana. Ada anjing. Gak mau dikejar anjir. Sini.
If Gemma gave us the right location, then the workshop should be right nearby. Looks like these boxes are... There we go. It should be just down here.
Si domen. Si domen lagi. Yang ada aja lah pastinya. Males banget gue pakai kayak gini. Ini kalau pakai itu kurang mantap sih. Udah enak sih pakai itu. Buset, nggak usah manjat. Iya, parah ini game, nggak usah manjat cuk. Jadi kita review. Kita diantar pulang ceritanya. Oke. Di sini ada sesuatu, nggak ada. Ini sambil explore namanya. Story sambil explore. Ini ada sesuatu, nggak bisa. Oh, dia nggak bawa ini. Aduh. Gerak, oi.
So this was Caesar's workshop.
Bengkel ya.
Nothing suspicious here, just normal magic props. Let's
Lebih
head in further.
kontennya lebih kayak modern, tapi kalau dibilang pintaran sih Sumeru kayaknya. Lebih dibilang kota keadilan sih. Makin adilan pakai mesin. Maksudnya kalian harus pakai salah. Iya iya iya.
What was that? Oh, is this one of Caesar's gadgets? Ah,
Tuh, nah.
guess we must have triggered some sort of device.
Oh, jadi kita buka ini boneka. Wah, sirkus banget ya. Ya ini ruangannya, berarti kita buka.
Body and brain cutter.
Kita coba pakai gini aja ya.
Step
Lain
right up.
dengan artefak masal. Jadi gue
Nowhere to run.
nggak akan pakai mau.
Whoa. Look, the doll in the box is
Ya.
glowing.
Terbang nggak tuh? Nggak muncul lah jelas.
There's something written on the card on this doll. Let's take a closer look.
Markasnya nggak masuk akal kalau ya. Ternyata di kita kesini.
Looks like we've reached the end of this route. Shall we try a different one?
Kita coba lakukan.
These magic boxes are moving. What do we do?
One of them looks different from the rest. Let's investigate.
Got it. We're supposed to find the box that lit up at the start, right? There should be another wish list inside. Let's keep trying.
Bentar, ini gue bingung nih puzzle-nya. Oh, oke. Satu lagi, terbang lagi. Oke, kita ngincer yang emas. Oke, gue paham. Ini dia terbang ke sana. Ini mau buka pintu. Buka pintu, kita ke sini. Bisa ruangan.
That's weird. Have we reached the end already? There's nothing here. Maybe this was a wasted trip.
This place seems a little too ordinary for a magician's workshop. There's a distinct lack of mystery. We've triggered quite a few devices on the way here. I'm starting to wonder whether Caesar built this. If so, then there must be more to this place than meets the eye. Maybe a hidden room somewhere.
So akal.
Aha! If I just...
A secret passage.
I'm a magician too. And apparently, great looks pretty big inside.
Wah, bansos. Hah? Oke, tempat tadi kan? Bukan.
And voila!
Main bola.
Let's get this show on the road!
Kalau dikombinasiin kayaknya bagus dah. Gitu. Tapi gua nggak mendukung banget soalnya. sama si lain ini. Nggak ada yang naik lagi ya, kita naik ke atas lagi.
Into the wind.
Rain outlines your fate. Let me.
Nowhere to run. One with nature.
Eye for an eye. More speed.
Anjing. Oh, mati. Saya mati loh. Oh.
Why have you stopped, Lenny?
Huh. It just looks familiar somehow. Let me check this out for a second while you guys... If anyone makes a major discovery, let's rendezvous here.
All right. See you.
Jadi ingat yang quest Archer nih. Lobo masuk. Hilang lah. Mungkin mekanismenya gitu.
Seems like we can't step on the same tile twice.
Anjing
Guess
lah.
we've got to finish it in
Pajel,
one run, huh?
pajel. Iya, ulang. Nah. Anjir lah. Udah cepet lah. Ah, I know. Oh, gitu. Pakai wawan lah ya. Tapi gak bisa ganti sekarang. Hei, gue paham. Gue ngide aja sudah sebenarnya.
More speed.
Nggak tahu. Nggak jadi paham. Saya tarik kata-kata saya. Wih. Aduh. Pencet anjir. Nggak dapat ininya. Yeah, I hate this puzzle. Oh, nggak boleh lompat 2 kali kena. Kalau injak aja gitu. Nggak bisa. Aduh, gimana?
More speed.
Tunggu, tapi bisa nggak sih kita diem gitu, diem di tempat? Nggak boleh kelamaan, tapi bukan langsung lihat ini bisa nggak? Oh bisa, nggak bisa buat balik. Gimana tuh kira-kira? Boleh nggak kita gerak? Ikutin aja. Iya, boleh. Hore! Nggak tahu gimana itu curang nggak sih? Oke, buka pintu ini. Oh, apa tuh?
Wow! There's a hidden room here! This book's thick as a brick! Let's take a peek inside.
At one of my shows a few days ago,
Ada
a
caranya
child
aku
asked me
mengeluarkan
how I pulled
dokumen
candy
dari
as a
kopi.
joke. I told the kid that the hat has a built-in wish-granting machine. Next thing I know, today a whole
Anak yang
bunch of
tak
kids were
aku
pestering me to pull all
buat
sorts of...
dari-
So I told them another white
Harusnya
lie.
yang buat tulis
The
itu
machine
si
needs
pengajar
time to
sambil
power
nonton,
up,
gue tulis
but in the
permohonan
meantime,
tarik
you
kertas
can write
minta
your wishes
informasi
down.
penulis gue.
Well,
Jadi
they
setelah
took me up
dia
on
yang
that offer.
kita cari barang-barang yang mereka
Enthusiastically.
minta. Aduh.
I wound up saving very little this month.
Oh,
But that's not a major issue. I now have a bigger problem.
oh dia pakai uang sendiri berarti.
Hide all these
Masalahnya
things inside my
cara
hat.
menyimpannya dia di dalam kopi. Ya.
2 children came to talk to me after today's show. I don't know why they were out on their own. They looked much too young to be unsupervised. Anyway, they said that they wanted me to teach them how to do magic. It's not uncommon. I told them that learning magic is very hard work. But that didn't faze them at all.
Pengen ngajarin sih sebenarnya.
It seems like something's bothering Lorenzo lately. But he won't open up to me about it. Surely he's not upset that I agreed to teach those 2 children.
Oh,
I have a
gara-gara
good feeling
nerima.
about those kids. They're
Aku harus
naturally
menyebut
talented,
sakitnya.
and it seemed they have all sorts of fantastic ideas. They wanted to call me master, but I told them they absolutely mustn't. With time, I have no doubt that they could become far greater magicians than I. Gemma thinks so too. She doesn't like being around them. It's nearly time for me to go on tour. I asked the 2 kids if I once overheard them talking about their father and their mission. Sounds like their parents have. It's only been 10 days since I first met them, but they're very tough, but also very cautious. They hide things from me too. For example, that's the thing about children. Whenever they're trying to cover something, I can sense that their
Tapi
lives
nggak
have been
kelihatan
hard.
sih dia
Possibly even
mau
after thinking
bohong
things
dari
over.
hariannya.
I decided to tell them a bit about how. P.S. I hope they won't find my nagging annoying. P.P.S. Maybe I'm overthinking this. Oh, Caesar. Just.
Hmm.
2 magic geniuses with a father and a mission, huh? Sounds a lot like he was writing about Linny and Lynette, don't you think?
Seakan ya Lainit dan
Caesar
Lainit.
when they were kids? Let's go ask Linny.
Jangan-jangan Caesar itu anak angkatnya buat belajar sulap. Itu 2. Pengumuman soal akal. 2 anak soalnya bukan 3. Walaupun 1 doang. Semua itu masuk akal.
Linny?
Shh, hold that thought. As I expect,
Fishy?
all in good time. Before we go over our new leads, I want to tell you how a high-altitude escape is performed. First, the magician slots themselves into a magic box in full view of the audience. The box is then suspended high in the air, and a short while later, the base automatically opens. At this point, a dummy will fall out of the box, but it looks real enough to grab the audience's attention, and they start wailing and screaming. Meanwhile, the real magician, who has by now blended into the crowd, waits for a good moment. Oh no! Is that me? Did I just fall to my death?
Very vivid description. Paimon can really...
The audience's gaze then turns to the magician, and by the time they realize what's happened, the dummy has vanished. Of course, that's just how I think the process should work. The inventor of this trick never performed it successfully. When the box opened, Caesar was the one who fell out, and not the dummy. He fell right to the ground from the highest point of the opera house. No one could hope to survive that fall. Not without a vision, at least. And no one else has ever attempted this trick since. My understanding of how it works is just based on what I could gather from his notes and the relevant...
So Caesar's famous high-altitude escape has never been done. Paimon was about to say how cool it would have been to see it in person, but if it's that dang... Wait a second. So if a dummy's supposed to drop out of the box, then where does the real magician go?
Glad you asked. That brings us to the secret of set. This box right here is the one that Caesar constructed himself to use in the performance. And it's not once the magician's inside and the box is lifted up into the air, from where they're standing, they have a clear view of the front, sides, and bottom. But the back and the top are now... At this point, the magician presses a button inside the box, opening a secret door out of view. He then escapes through this trapdoor onto the opera house roof, waits for the dummy to fall and distract the audience, and quietly returns to...
Gua kira kayak dia ke bawah, sembunyi di bawah tapi di atas tetap.
Well, there's a little more to it than that, of course. The hardest part, there's the falling dummy, the miraculous reappearance, the pompous performing. Maybe the magician would even have themselves tied up. Many days and nights of careful research and painstaking practice would have gone into this, all culminating in a performance just a few minutes long, but one that... Caesar was a highly accomplished magician.
So, how did it go so wrong? You said you found some fish...
I can make a pretty good guess. I looked into the case files. The magic box Caesar was using at the time of his death had the secret button I mentioned positioned on the right-hand side. And sure enough...
Okay.
But here's the strange thing. Most of the devices in this workshop have the mechanism on the left-hand side, including this box right here. Which leads me to believe that Caesar was in fact because a magician can't afford to have their most basic habits stand out too much. People naturally focus their attention on but a magician needs to be able to redirect an audience's... The essence of magic is getting people to believe a lie. If even the truth raises eyebrows, the fault... And so, Caesar trained himself to use his right hand to align with his audience's expectations. Great magic, but in his most stressful and nerve-wracking moments, and when no one was watching, reflex would kick in and he'd use his left hand. That's why... Exactly. I think that's likely what happened. Caesar would have been under a lot of time pressure during the escape. He'd have had mere seconds to open the hidden compartment, retrieve the dummy, then open the secret door and make a swift escape. But I'm sure he was confident. He would have rehearsed countless times to the point where it was second nature. He'd barely need to think about what he was doing so he opened the compartment, took out the dummy, checked everything was in order, and then went to leave. With his left hand, he reached for the button, and suddenly, his heart skipped a beat. Much like when you reach for your keys but find your pocket empty, his mind needed a moment to process what was going on. Instinctively, his left hand would keep feeling around for the missing button, maybe for another second or two. With the stakes being as high as they were, just a 2-second delay cost him everything. The authorities would find...
In reality, someone switched the boxes!
Oh,
And they did it to
ini
murder
kayak
him!
disabotase.
But how would they be able to make the switch without being noticed?
It would have to have been someone who knew that he was left-handed, and who could move his props around without arousing... Isn't that right?
You just couldn't let sleeping dogs lie, could you? There's not a lot of people who'd go to all this trouble for some magician who died 10 years ago. I didn't want to have to do this, you know. Silencing you the hard way just creates more... But I gave you your chance. I hoped you'd do what's good for you and back off like the...
You
Takut.
mean Gemma? So you are the one who's been threatening her.
Yes, although however stubborn she might be, she was never much of a liability. But you people, which is why you can't leave this place alive.
Do your worst.
Ih, gak sadar dia. Lakuannya, aduh. Mana?
Falling leaves, adorn my night! The wind knows it.
Surrender!
Step right up. Ow.
Futile!
Ada.
Witness the power of Suka.
Into the wind.
A round of applause.
Beg for mercy.
Surrender!
Now disappear. Stay.
No, my sword.
Tuh. Tewas. Waduh.
Had enough yet, Lorenzo? Your cronies can't help you now. I think it's high time you started talking. And what I'd really like to know is, why did...
If I had a mora for every time you said that man's name. Of course you idolized Caesar, everyone else did. But I was the real genius magician. He was just an amateur who did cheap tricks for gullible children. I was the one who made magic into the fine...
So it was jealousy.
Jealousy. Hatred, more like. I hated Caesar. He poured everything into his street performances and his stupid tours like it was just a hobby to him, never bothering to think about Mora. But the people loved him, didn't they? Oh, how they looked up to him. No one gave me a second look. Amazing. Yeah, so amazing that he was completely broke. Every other apprentice was living it up at their master's expense, but no, not me. I put in all the work, mastered all this. He forbade me from using magic to trick people out of their mora. And with his reputation in Fontaine, it was too risky for me to go it alone. As long as he was alive, if I dabbled in my own brand of money, I had to kill him. There was no other way.
And this was your only...
It was reason enough. What other motive would I need?
Well, I was under the impression that there might have been other factors at play. For instance...
In love with Gemma. Don't be ridiculous.
Guess I was wrong about that then.
I am. Caesar was so strict with me. He insisted that his way was the right way. I never bought into any of that. I was more interested in the practical value of magic.
Oh, yeah! Charlotte told us that the weasel would steal whatever...
That's just how it looked from the outside. What would any thief want with second-rate loot? I stole cheap things as a way of practicing my craft. It was other people's overactive imaginations that...
So, that's the story, huh?
Oh.
Well, I hope you're ready to tell
Aku
it
curigain
all.
What
Lorenzo.
choice do I have?
Tapi suka
You're
dia
a pack
sama
of
si
wolves
Gemma
and
juga.
you've got me between your
Nah, juga dia.
jaws. So be it.
Nggak suka deh.
I've enjoyed power and wealth for the last 10 years.
Very well. In that case, Traveler, Paimon, keep an eye on Lorenzo for...
Mati kamu. Udah. Itu toh. Sabar. Ini kenapa ya? Ini gue lemot banget ya. Tekuk.
Lily has told me the whole story. Lorenzo, do you confess to the murder of Caesar and to...
Look who's What kind of disciple murders their own master? I hope it was worth it. Because
Looks like it's all over. What should we do next, Lenny? Should we...
Let me think. Let's rendezvous with Lynette and Gemma first.
Good point. We should go tell...
Oke, kita ke Gemma. Ini di atas, bukan di bawah.
Ah, you're back. You were so quick. I've only...
Your third?
Posisi 3.
Lynette, come on. We've talked about this. Everything in moderation. You're not gonna have any...
It's fine. I'll shift to exercise mode and jog off the excess sugar.
That's besides the point.
Point taken.
Did everything go okay?
Of course! Lorenzo was no match for us. The guards are taking him into...
Gosh, that's amazing. I'm sorry. I had my suspicions about Lorenzo, but
It's okay. We understand. He did threaten you. But you don't need to be scared anymore. Everything's gonna be okay.
Sorry. My emotion... I always wanted to report Lorenzo. He took all of Caesar's property, which I found suspicious. But I had people watching me all the time. I was so afraid. I was scared he'd do something terrible to me. And then no one would be left to visit Caesar's grave. Thank you all.
Thank you all for clearing Caesar's name. I never would have guessed that Lorenzo was the real Phantom Weasel. He never showed any signs that there were problems between him and Caesar and to think that lowlife's been living life to the fullest all this time.
Jadi
At least his
intinya
soul
dia
can finally rest in
akhirnya
peace.
kita berhasil ya.
If only I'd realized.
Don't blame yourself, Gemma. This isn't your fault.
Yeah, you still have the rest of your life to live.
Cheer up, Gemma. My brother's doing a magic show at the Opera House tomorrow evening. This show will be a special one. We're
In Caesar's honor.
Great. We'll see you tomorrow evening. Traveler, Paimon, don't be late.
Don't worry, we'll be there. No, where are we gonna... Wait.
Gratis-gratis lo
Feels like
nikmatin
we're
gitu
forgetting
bang.
something.
Aduh, Paimon. Oke, besok ya. Tuh. Jam 1 di kuburan nggak tuh? Oke, itu sana. Ini kunci ya ke buat ke ininya. Operanya itu jauh banget. Harus sini jalan lagi. Jalan pelan gitu. Iya, bikin trigger.
time to act.
Tabrak. Ngomong-ngomong, gue penasaran ya. Udah satu. Nah. Hadiahnya itu lumayan bagus, lumayan lah.
Body.
Lumayan bagus kok hadiahnya dibilang. Bang. Siapa yang mau nonton gratis? Nah, Nain, lu jadi penonton. Jadi penonton, kecewa saya.
Everyone's excited to see another of Linny's magic shows!
Not
No.
this time. My brother's going solo today, so I'll be watching with you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody's ready
Wih,
because the
Udin.
show is about to begin.
Jadi ingat apa yang pesulap
The great
terkenal di
magician
Amerika
Linny
itu?
has prepared a spectacular
Holding
show
itu.
for us
Ah,
all
ya.
tonight, concluding with an all-new
Jangan
Thank you
bilang
all
dia mau
so
nyoba
much for
trik itu.
coming. Now, prepare to join me on a journey through the mystical and miraculous.
Exciting stuff, isn't it?
Yes, it's just.
No wonder. Caesar was a so.
Pada gue tahu pasti yang
First
di
week, Gemma.
apa dikasih tahu sama si ini Lori.
Well, I was out on the street once and I saw him performing. Children love magic because they're willing to believe in things that can't be rationally explained. And somehow, I felt drawn to him.
Aw, that sounds so.
It was with a flower. He took it in his hand. I was so happy that day. No,
Oh, that's so cute. Actually,
is that right? Then I suppose he's a romantic after all.
Waduh,
You never know when the people dearest to you might.
nggak penting lu
That's
yang
right.
sedih.
it's all Paimon doesn't really know how to comfort you, but at the very least,
Right. Yes, you can breathe easy now. Phantom Weasel.
see, even Lynette says. Wait, what? The Phantom Weasel? Lorenzo escaped? Where is he?
Lah,
What do you mean, Phantom Weasel?
As Linny once said, a performer's job is to commit fully to their role and put on a flawless performance for their audience. But once the bag of tricks is empty and the curtain falls, it's time to end the show. It's been 10 years, Gemma. Aren't you tired of the grieving widow act? I think it's time to put an end to it.
What are you talking about? Traveler, Paimon doesn't like where this is going. Come on!
Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all enjoying There will now be a brief intermission, after which Linny will perform the most electrifying act. The final performance will take place outside of the Opera House, so please make your way.
The Phantom Weasel never did like public places, did they? Don't worry, this place will be quiet.
bisa benar jadi
Time to act.
sebuah plot twist. Walaupun saya sedikit gimana ya, sedikit curiga juga ya sama ini orang.
Dear me, this is awkward, isn't it? And unfortunately, I'm all out of gadgets, so I'm afraid I can't do any tricks till. This is a big mistake for a magician to make. But thankfully,
Lenny? Don't Lynette accuse Gemma of being the real Phantom Weasel!
all in good time. Magicians are good at guessing what people are thinking. I know the questions you want.
Really? Well then, let's hear it!
Let's go back to the very beginning. A decade ago, when the Phantom Weasel was terrorizing the court of Fontaine. She never missed a target, never left a... But as her infamy grew, so did the readiness of the police, and her opportunities to act became ever fewer. Every day, she ran the risk of being exposed for who she was. Of course, she could not simply take this lying down, and before long, she found her ticket to freedom. She would create a scapegoat. After weighing her options, she set her sights on a renowned magician, Caesar. After all, magic and theft shared enough similarities for people to buy the story when the...
So then what?
Being the master deceiver she was, the weasel easily earned Caesar's trust. Now, all that remained was to frame him for her countless crimes. But as she was considering how to make her move, she noticed Caesar's aggrieved pupil, and a new thought entered her mind. Maybe I don't need to get my hands dirty after all. At her encouragement, Lorenzo tampered with Caesar's magic box, causing him to fall to his death. Afterwards, Lorenzo seized his master's property, and the weasel set about tarnishing Caesar's reputation. Two co-conspirators committed the perfect crime.
I've got to hand it to you. You're both exceptional storytellers. It's enough to make even me one, but I just have one.
Don't worry, Lorenzo said nothing at all. But I never believed that he was the weasel, and in fact, my investigation only made me more certain of that. He was too forthcoming with his confession, as if there was...
How disappointing. So you'd sooner trust Lorenzo than me? Even without a shred of evidence?
A magician is an expert at playing the audience to get the result they want. And I have no... With a little help from Lorenzo, you put on a very convincing performance. The lovesick fiancé, whose devotion to her betrothed is unshakable, even under threats of violence. Caesar was maligned and hated by all for 10 years, but you? Everyone sympathized with your plight. Who would suspect for 1 second that the lovely young lady always seen weeping in front of Caesar's grave was actually the mastermind behind his demise? No, not that poor lady. Perish the thought.
Wait, so you mean the whole intimidation thing was just a hoax? Gemma and Lorenzo were both in on it? But why would Lorenzo agree to that? And why didn't he sell her out even at the end instead of admitting to being the weasel himself?
Yes, why indeed? Maybe Gemma herself could enlighten us on that question.
Well, Linny, if you're so confident in your version of events, then I think having killed Caesar with his own hands, Lorenzo was plagued by overwhelming guilt. Revealing the Phantom Weasel's true identity would serve no purpose. But if the weasel remained free, then she could take care of Lorenzo's loved ones.
An excellent answer, though sadly a little dull.
Is that right? Well, don't let me bore you. If you'd care to change the topic to something more interesting, I'd be much obliged.
As a matter of fact, there's one thing I'd really like to understand. Why would the real weasel have targeted things that only have value to other people?
Of course. After all, we're just telling stories here. If I had to guess, I would say that the real weasel must have had a terrible child. Left to fend for herself after her parents died young. Betrayed. Scorn. She'd scrounge waste paper from garbage bins to draw on, using twigs and dirt for lack of ink. This was her only source of happiness in life. Once again, she was betrayed. And this time, everything was taken from her. This was a fate too cruel for anyone to bear. Her pain became a breeding ground for dark thoughts. Thoughts which festered and grew into a twisted solution to her troubles. I detest the happiness of others, in all its forms alike. I will rob them of everything they hold to be good and true, and it will fill the void in my soul.
That's some pretty heavy stuff.
Now it all makes sense.
Does this story satisfy you, Linny?
Yes, it is quite to my tastes. Thank you for helping to clear up my confusion.
Huh. That's right. What drove you to write that letter, Gemma? What were you? Because without that, none of this would have ever come to light.
She didn't write the letter.
After 10 long years, I'd hoped that the Phantom Weasel would be consigned to the Linny. Or should I call you the Phantom Copycat now? You were the...
Very sharp, Phantom Weasel. Still as shrewd as ever. Well, no need for me to be coy about it. Our goal was to clear Caesar's name. The most straightforward way to change the public's impression of Caesar was to force the weasel to show themselves.
That's it?
Of course we did. We made it quite clear in the letter, I believe. I shall take from you that which you hold.
10 years ago? You mean Caesar's death? Wait. Oh, I get it. You were those two obnoxious kids. He taught you magic back then, didn't he? For what, 10 days or something? And you...
We remember all our debts, however great or small. 10 years ago, Caesar's reputation was torn to shreds, and his legacy was thrown out. But we did not forget. And so we came to find you.
And? What exactly did you take from me? I'm still
free? Do you really think? Caesar once told me that even though the world is filled with lies, and I think that applies to you too. Truth can take many forms. Life took many things from you, and those wounds never healed. When they ached unbearably in the dead of night.
What are you trying to say?
I'm saying that for the last 10 years, you've been living a rather uneventful life. Perhaps that's because you found something other than a life of crime to fill the hole? Back to Lorenzo for a second. He murdered his own master, played along with your act, and took pains to make sure any suspicion would be directed towards he knew who you were and the things you've done. And despite that, he was willing to give everything up for your sake. He's the reason that you haven't felt the compulsion to steal. You're more than just accomplices in murder. You're the only real friends each other has. So I think you know, deep down, that he is the only truth you have in your life. But that truth is gone now. And I guarantee you...
Congratulations on your freedom, Gemma.
Your freedom will cost you dearly. From now on, you'll be...
Gather round, one and all. The time has now come for the amazing Lenny. I'm sure you're all wondering what he has planned for the grand finale.
A high-altitude escape?
I'm sure you all remember the magician Caesar. This was the very trick that led to his fatal fall. After we have now learned that Caesar was wrongly accused, and that the real weasel...
Guess that's my cue to leave. Whew. Traveler, Paimon, I hope you enjoy the rest of the show. There may be a lot of people watching tonight, but...
Lenny, wait. You two hid a lot from Caesar. He went to his grave without ever knowing your secrets. You don't have to tell lies to end up isolated and alone. What?
You're wrong. I'm nothing like you.
So,
Like Lenny said, when you're ready, let's head outside.
But what about Gemma?
She'll figure out what's best for her soon enough. Oh, and if you'd like to see Lenny after the show, you know where he'll be.
Alright, well...
Oke, kita lihat ya pertunjukannya apakah ada skin.
Body and mind.
Nah, ada cutscene-nya. Gue pengen review juga nih. Oh shit, di luar anjing. Kenapa dibilang lihat tadi kayak di luar? Gue kira di dalam. Anjir. Seperti itu kamu?
Magic should be mysterious, surprising, and defy logic. Magic is hard work. Every single movement has to be practiced thousands of times.
It's alright, we're used to that.
We're sorry. You've taught us so much, but we can't tell you the whole truth.
It's okay. Do you still remember what I told you? This world is full of lies and falsehoods. I only hope that one day you can find your own truth.
What about you? Have you found your truth?
Magic is my truth. I want to perform a magic trick so great that people will always think of me when they talk about it. For a magician, what greater honor could there be?
Look! Behold! Linny is sealed inside the box. Will he manage to escape? 10 years ago, Caesar attempted this very trick, and it was at this precise moment that...
Waduh.
Watch out!
Tunggu.
Mysterious. Surprising. And logic-defying. Isn't that right? This honor belongs to you, Caesar. I'm just sorry it's a little late.
Did you see that? 1 minute he was falling, and then...
How could he possibly have...
How mysterious. I didn't blink once. He just... What a heart-stopping magic show. This was real. Caesar's name has finally been cleared, and Fontaine's new star magician Linny has fulfilled a wish on his behalf.
Looks like everyone really loved Linny's grand finale. Paimon doesn't see Linny anywhere. Oh, Lynette said he'd be waiting for us at the usual hunt.
Mau Cesar.
But, oh, you mean the one where
Oh.
Yeah, that's probably it. This whole magic show kinda seemed like... Alright, let's go look...
Oke. Kita ke makam Caesar. Kita kesini langsung berdiri bersama Alice sih. Dari sana ke sini dulu. Ini dulu. Ya.
Are you alright? Paimon was scared to death with...
Magic is a performance art. A magician has to get creative. I was honestly a little nervous during the live performance. But sometimes, I can't help but wonder what Caesar thought in those final moments. Did he regret taking Gemma and Lorenzo on? Or... did...
You know, Paimon's been wanting to ask you about something ever since we were in Caesar's workshop.
After I joined the House of the Hearth. To be honest, Lynette and I had an agenda when we approached him. I told you about my past before, remember? As a young boy, I survived by secretly learning magic from street performers, but I quickly realized that observation alone could only get me so far. I needed to learn how to improve my sleight of hand, hone my misdirection skills. We were gifted enough that we'd made some progress by ourselves, but without proper guidance...
So that's why you sought Caesar out?
Yes. We figured there was no harm in asking, but it took... In all, we only spent 10 short days together, but he was very good to us. For instance, when he asked why I wanted to learn magic, but in truth, there was already a lot more to the story by then. After being taken in by an aristocrat for our magic talent, what amazed me was how the lie escaped my lips. Trust is a beautiful thing.
Delusion.
Sadly, I'd forgotten how to trust by then.
Lawan kata delusion.
Still worried about the way But don't worry, I'm used to it now. From the mansions of the elite to the House of the Hearth, lies and selfishness have... After Caesar went on tour, we became busy with our missions.
Malah jadi selain misi dia, gue pengen explore.
To keep secrets is to put up walls. The longer you keep them up, the less you let people. You only realize
Yaudah,
how much
gue
someone
explore juga
really
lah
meant
sekali.
to you when you lose them completely.
Yeah, sure. We've had to say our fair share of goodbyes during delicious food, fun toys, and the traveler. Doesn't that kind of make...
Exactly. It's the same for me and Lynette. Life has taken plenty from us, like it did from Gemma. But at least it left. That's why the darkness never consumed me, and why it never will. Maybe we live in the shadows too, but all right. Time to lighten the...
It was amazing! Paimon just wishes we hadn't been, Lenny.
Whoa, that's a bit of a tall order, I'm afraid. The show's just finished, so my sleeves are
Aw, come on! Surely you can think...
Oh, all right then. Watch closely. I have a flower in my hand.
You liar! There's nothing in your hand! We ain't going...
Huh? My goodness, you're right. But I could have sworn I brought...
3, 2...
Now, have another look around. Maybe the
Really? Let's see. Wow, there it is! Oh, but more importantly, Paimon has to know how to
Well, if you want to learn magic...
Fine!
Since you asked so nicely, I'll share one little tip with you.
Is that it?
Ah, look at the time. We shouldn't linger here too long. Thanks again for coming to see my show. I look forward to seeing you again.
All right, shall we head back down too? Let's head to the Steambird's offices tomorrow.
Tuh, belum selesai anjing. Buset, masih ada lagi. Woi, part berapa ini, Cok? Ya udahlah, habis ya udah the last thing gua langsung explore nih. Explore dikit aja lah. Jam apa ya? Udah besok sama dia. Wow, aja. Oh, nggak bisa. Jadi steamboat itu yang ini. Oh ini ada masuk anjir ke steamboat ini. Mbak, sana Mbak. Iya. Betul. $20 doang. Nanti kebuka sini udah dong. Ya nggak tahu aja. Ini explore-nya ke, lu pengen explore 20% aja dulu sih. Itu menurut gue masih worth it sih lu kerjain buat sekedar sisain misi. Ya udah langsung kita ke sini wawancara.
Body and mind.
I'm very sorry, Charlotte, but my sister and I are quite busy today.
Oh, please, Linny, I'll only take a moment of your time.
Huh? What's happening here?
I spent all night writing my piece about the Phantom Weasel, and it was but just as dawn broke, I suddenly received news that Caesar's fiancée, Gemma, had contacted the guards and confessed.
That was quick.
Too late, bro. That was quick, you say? It sounds like I've got some catch. Aha! My instincts did not lead me astray. You do have something to hide. Gemma.
Maybe watching my high-altitude escape trick reminded her of a better time with Caesar.
Okay then. Wait, no, there must be more to it. If that's all it took for her to have a change of heart, how did it take her 10 whole...
well...
Oh, I remember now! You and Gemma were no quickfire question! Where did you all go after the show?
Oh, we went to the cemetery and Linny did a private Actually, glad you mentioned it, because that reminds Paimon, guess what?
What? I don't recall ever having received a rainbow rose from you myself. Is this supposed to mean that they're more important to you than your own sister?
No, I just...
What now? This is getting pretty...
Seems like this interview wasn't meant to be. Forgive my persistence, but when there's explosive news waiting to be found, I can't turn away. Apparently, one of the things she said to the guards was that her final wish is to see Lorenzo one last time. Ah, there's clearly a web of... All right, I guess I'll leave you to continue the rest of your
Lynette?
Don't worry, I wasn't angry.
Oh, really?
Phew. You and me both, Paimon. You and me both.
Please, take good care of that rainbow rose. I'd be really upset if you lost it.
Akhirnya, ore! Full gak sih? Tapi soal full kita mengeksplor dulu. Tujuan gue sebenarnya pengen nyoba daerah sini, tapi gue bingung dulu mau ke situ dulu atau ke buka dulu Elina semua soalnya. Apa kita coba buka Elina semua dari sini semuanya, teleport yang bisa dibuka ya, dari terdekat. Ya, mungkin kita tak tahu ya, kita dapat chest dari sana. Cocok kenceng banget. BTW gue belum ke shrine juga, jadi mungkin ke shrine dulu kali. Ngeri banget loh ruin gue-nya, kenceng anjir. Pakai mesin roket kan. Biasanya nggak secepat itu.
Excellent.
Itu benefit dong. Itu benefit. Bagus. Baces. Di sini mah burung. Santan cucu ambil.
One with nature.
Jadi kita buka. Kita balik aja nanti habis itu ke sana. Gue sebenarnya lagi baca-baca ininya juga. Baca-baca lokasi semua. Dan di situ ada kayak tempat itu habis apa namanya monster punya bos ya.
The wind knows.
Gue belum belajar mekanisme ini untuk buff. Waduh. Jadi dikasih buff dia mereka.
Your sins weigh upon your soul.
Apa itu buff?
Stay content. Clouds high. The birds call.
Rain outlines your fate.
Went too far.
Crush. Let me weave you a bird.
Wind strike.
Shudder.
Bisa berantem gitu.
Beg for mercy.
Nowhere to run.
Biar player semangat ngebuild kali ya.
Belongs to ice.
Semangat ngebuild dan bangun karakter.
Perseverance has paid off.
Kita buka yang belum bisa kebuka ya guys. Yang benar-benar yang bisa dibuka deh. Kalau yang belum kayak ada puzzle-nya itu apa, gue skip dulu mungkin. Kita buka sini.
Blood of frost. Crush.
Gue jadi ingat yang lingkungan ini.
Rain outlines your fate.
Aduh, kenapa sih yang buku yang di itu? Aku tahu kan, buffnya mirip persis.
Beg for mercy.
Atau yang di apa sih nama ini? Aku lupa. Nobles. Bukan Nobles. Oh enggak. Crimson. Itu dia. Itu babnya ngeri banget.
More speed.
Kita Di sini. Lalu, bukan sesuatu itu nggak mungkin, tapi karena, nah, maksudnya dari mana itu aja dulu. Nah, itu pertanyaan gue sih sebenarnya maksudnya dari mana, Bang? Pada dari sini kita, ya don't know. Jadi realistis aja sih dengan kita kesini. Kalau dari sini, 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 mana? Ya, ketemu ada story di underground. Ya, gue tahu underground. Gimana masuknya, Bang? Remarkable. Ini mah apa ini? Mana story? Aduh, tahu apa? Mau ikutin aja nanti cari tahu cara ke underground di Eris. Sambil nyari bahan-bahan dah. Di sini daerahnya lebih ya different banget, beda banget dari kota atau dari kotanya kayak perkampungan gitu. Perkampungan negara ya kalau mungkin dibilang. Tapi gue suka sih, jujur aja. Underground nanti aja ya. Yang ada juga begitu. Nah kayak gini, nah ya udah guys. Demi lainnya apa sih yang enggak ya?
Rain cutter. Clouds high. The birds call. The wind knows. Vengeance will be mine.
Masih sini air kebuka loh.
Shut up.
Ini udah kebuka nih.
Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword. One with nature. Crush.
Kira bisa collab nih orang. Gara-gara bab ini kurang sakit sama ya. Kalau
Rain outlines your fate. Know my sword.
Jadi kayak di mana hancurinnya, bisa nggak? Apa enggak tak? Kalau bisa dihancurin kayaknya bagus banget ya. Situ ada lubang. Mana?
Rain outlines your fate.
Anjing.
The wrong
test
subject.
Time to go. Who says there aren't benefits to a life of wandering?
Ya lanjut. Oke. Oke, di situ ada 2.
Time to act.
Ke sana juga. Baru ke sana lagi. Coba buka ini yang dulu aja.
Body and mind.
Ini tower apa sih? Kayak dijagain gitu.
Time to act.
247. Di sini aman. Ini jauhan sih. Nyemplung aja lah. Ini deh, jangan nyemplung. Jangan nyemplung. Kok pas sekali di sini. Hutan. Jadi penyelam handal. Sering kayak gini cek, lebih kenceng. Ini ada chest, ada puzzle. Menarik. Tapi kayaknya itu harus di. Oke, setiap teleport itu ada towernya ini. Itu nggak paham maksudnya. Apa kita coba masuk ke dalam tanah? Coba cari cara. Penasaran aja. Tak di laut, di bawah tanah itu yang belum mau gue buka. Tuh ini kayak ular. Ini ular. Teleport sudah ada chest di mata.
One with nature.
One with wind and clouds. Oh, betul.
Rain outlines your fate. Rain.
Nowhere to run.
Beg for mercy.
Surrender.
Oke. Dapat apa?
At least good luck doesn't discriminate by clan.
Nah, maksud gua kan di lubang ini. Gua pun lihat NPC di sini ada hitam. Lu rasis? Astaga, anak sekarang udah rasis ya? Bukan loh. Apa lewat bawah air sini? Ini lebih masuk akal kita lewat air deh. Enggak ada tuh. Ini masuk akal sih kalau lewat air tanah. Mari kita coba cari yang sesuatu. Di sini ada lubang. Sama aja. Oh, ada lebih underground lagi nih. Wah, betul jalan masuknya. Tunggu, gak bisa masuk kah? Wah, nggak bisa masuk. Kayak ada anginnya gitu. Pasti ada cara nih masuk ke undergroundnya. Coba. Nggak bisa masuk. Tapi di sini ada teleport guys. Enggak deh, coba deh. Jadi gue putuskan mungkin lihat di YouTube kali ya. Masuk underground terrace. Apa sih nama mapnya? Map di Genshin ini. Eris gak sih? Elinas. Dasam doang.
Ngasih tahu cara untuk membuka 2 teleport yang di dari patung desa itu kan dan udah kayak selam ke bawah sini.
Iya di bawah laut. Oh iya. Masuk akal. Jadi kenapa bilang masuk akal? Ada sesuatu dalam kamu di dalam sini.
More speed.
Wah, kok lancar ya? Bukan danau ini kali ya. Masa apa ini? Salah danau. Gua kira danau yang itu, tapi yang ini maksudnya. Enggak. Bodoh amat gue lawan. Oh ya, remet jauh banget. Ini sini. Maksud gue jauh-jauh remet ke sini. Baru itu remet. Nah, kita ambil ya. Skillnya pinjam. Di sini ada batu. Ini ada hydropulus. Nggak nyangka juga di situ ada hydropulus. Mungkin kita coba lawan orang aneh. Ini. Bahan-bahan enggak. Oh, ini membuat lagi di bawah. Oke, kita tarik lagi. Oke, kita cari underground. Kita nggak tahu apa. Mau apa itu? Yang pasti tujuan kita itu bukan di situ, tapi di sini. Welcome to Quest Ferry. Yang bawah kali ini. Ya turun. Itu tadi belum di, kayaknya nggak bisa deh ke sana. So apa? A very well warm place. Alright. Tempat yang paling dalam, paling basah mungkin. Biasanya kalau ngikutin di ini itu kasih tau teleport terdekat. Itu juga bisa terbang tuh. Tunggu sini kalian mana? Nanti kita ke sini. Terus sini Merusea. Menarik. Dua yang chestnya.
A well-deserved find.
Gue nggak hitung gue ekspor itu berapa persen guys. Ini 51% aja udah over gitu. Mau kecil sih tentunya. Pacil kalian. Di sini ada air. Harus kita belum apa masukin. Kita ke sini.
Into the wind. Shut up. Nowhere to run. Our perseverance has paid off.
Wah, ada orang jatuhnya loh. Oh, gua kira itu orang luar, apa namanya, yang di kota gitu, tapi ternyata beda. Mereka berbeda. Oh, ini mereka itu namanya melusin. Dan mereka tinggal di underground. Waduh. Jadi mirip-mirip cerita manusia di Picture of Fountain. Oke, teleportnya udah bisa dibuka ya. Kita kesana dulu. Dalam juga yang itu sama tahu kan? Oke, kita buka teleport. Wow, untuk begini pun ada aja. Oke, bukan kayak 20 ya udah. Nggak ada apa-apa di sini. Masuk sekolah kebentik itu sekolah. Kayak gua melihat sesuatu. Di sini kayak nggak ada harga diri kan berarti. Ntar kalau gua buka dari sini udah semua ya, udah semua. Intinya udah semua telepon ya di dalam tanah itu. Selanjutnya mungkin kita ke telepon yang ke TF1. Ini kok belum pernah ke sana ya, belum pernah explore. Robot anjing itu dia, robot anjing. Pertanyaan gua, apa lo kesana harus lewat belakang sini? Coba kita sana. Nah, belum gua explore daerah sini. Nah, kalau di sini ada chest ya kan? Ini masuk apa sih sini ada chest? Menarik. Ini nggak bisa dimasukin berarti. Nggak bisa nih. Dan di sini nggak ada apa-apa. Ada stasiun penungguan nih. Dia mau ke sana. Mau tidak menunggu gitu namanya. Udah nggak ada nunggu. Tapi nggak ada ini. Kan aku mau kamu manusia receh kali rek. Oke, dapat apa? Universal poison. Nah, poison. Oh, poison. Nah. Oh, yang soal itu mau diberikan lagi, kita turun aja. Nggak ada apa-apa juga di situ. Nah, memang tempatnya tinggi. Enggak, ini jangan bilang di atas, tapi yang di atas. Kita explore kiri kanan. Kita fulus semuanya. Di sini ada kemungkinan ya. Ini gini, ada kemungkinan dari map sini ini akan kebuka lagi karena gue lihat ada track di sini. Track ini kayak belum selesai dibangun, jadi kemungkinan ada lanjutan yang track dari sini mungkin. Dan sini masuk akal juga ya. Ini kesini dulu kali. Kita ikut sini, nanti ada domain, terus kayak ada root, atau gue buat ada rutenya itu lalu itu paling explore males banget tuh kacil. Mau kacil lah, langsung bunuh-bunuhan gitu. Cuma semua orang suka coy.
Rack and ruin. More speed.
Consequence. Mungkin itu buat bahan senjata kali di depan. Senjata lokal fountain. Bentar. Kalau buku baca komen bisa ada frame drop lah. Kalau pas ya seperti biasa sini pasti ada chest ya, ada pagar susah. Chess, iya chess, betul
Time to go.
chess.
One with nature.
Pinter. Dan juga suka.
Rain outlines your fate. Let me
Clouds high. The birds call. Surrender.
you beg for mercy.
Futile.
Wah, anggotanya mana? Hilang.
Nowhere to run.
Ya, buka.
Wealth is the foundation
Ini
on which
biasa, nggak ada
civilization
bahan
is
yang
built.
lain. Itu ada tes, kita ambil dulu tes. Gue ada komitmen dan dia ngambil tes.
Eye for an eye.
Nah, risiko banget pakai ini. Nyaman. Kita
Time to go.
Oke, kita ke sini. Welcome to Rachel. Dia menyediakan apa? Buku, bukan buku, dibilang senjata. Jadi di sini gue belum nemu domain lain. Udah deh. Domain di bawah laut ini kayaknya buku. Nah iya, buku panduannya atau buku-bukuan. Oh. Mau boleh teleport seperti itu. Jadi udah kebuka deh semua teleport di sini. Oke, sudah kebuka banyak ya. Namun mungkin nyelam dulu deh. Kita ada sesuatu di bola. Dan lu marah nggak sama gue? Enggak dong. Hewan berkaki itu sangat baik. Jadi terlalu jangkau. Mekanik gamenya bagus. Dan btw kalau setiap kita ini kan senjata tenaga kita hilang. Jadi gue mending cari yang terdekat aja. Coba ambil kekuatannya. Bisa. Nggak tahu itu apa. Untuk mekanik berenangnya itu bagus. Maksud gua ya. Oke. Oh. Punten. Anjing. Kemana sih? Oh. Maaf ya, tapi gue kesel aja nanti. Hai, kucing. Mampus lah gua. Apa lu juga mau? Lu mati tinggal. Anjing, dia bisa hidup di laut. Oh god ya. Ada dua sekitar sini. Oh iya. laut. Ya, bermain. Oh, tantangan. Oke. Oh, mana lagi sih? Ya, ya ikut, ikut. Ya, lumayan. Jadi kalau 20 sila ini lagi mungkin 120. Oh, ada 3 lagi di mana? Oh, di mana? Terus di mana kamu? Lagi bang. Satu lagi. Oh, hanya. Tahu itu asal lo nanti. Oh, ya, gua paham mekanismenya. Tahu sekarang tuh. Jadi kita incar sesuatu ini. Kita buka, dapat chest. Bukan chest yang ambil. Ada yang lain? Iya. Wih, jadi kan di sini chest. Itu ada chest juga. Anjing. Wah, tukang ikan Ju. Tukang ikan di dalam laut. Ngapain tukang ikan? Selagi. Anjing. Oke, mas. Ada yang belum gua buka lagi. Hidden teleport mungkin. Apa sangka gitu. Teleportnya akan hilang. Oh, itu kan ikan jual apa lo? Mujiman. Dia lakor. Ini tukang ikan jual. Wah. Oke. Kita hidup tukang ikan ya. Siapa dapat? Permata. Sih banyak lagi, tapi gue akan explore nanti malam mungkin biar full aja, karena sekarang lagi nggak ada barang sih jujur.